The farewell pilgrimage. In this year 10 AH, the Holy Prophet performed his last pilgrimage, details of which are fairly well known. During his journey back, the Holy Prophet stopped at Ghadir Khan. Al-Nasa'i Kitab al-Khasa'is narrates a tradition from Zaid bin Arqam on the authority of Abu al-Tufail, which runs thus. Returning from the farewell pilgrimage, the Prophet came at Ghadir Khan. He ordered a pulpit to be made for him. Once the pulpit had been made, he grasped it and said, "I have been called back by the Lord, and I have submitted to his orders. Now I leave among you two valuable things. One of them is the Quran, and the other is my progeny. These shall not separate from each other till they meet me together at the Kauthar in heaven. Therefore be careful and guard yourselves in your dealing with the Quran and with my progeny after me." Then the Prophet added, "Hearken, Allah is my master, and I am the master of the believers." Then he raised Ali's hand and said, "Ali is the master of whoever accepts me as his master. O Lord, befriend whoever befriends Ali, and alienate yourselves from whoever alienates Ali." Abu al-Tufail says, "When I heard this tradition, I inquired from Zaid ibn Arqam, 'Did you hear the Prophet saying these words?' Zaid ibn al-Arqam said, "Not only I, but all those who surrounded the pulpit. They had seen with their own eyes that the Prophet was speaking those words, and they heard them with their own ears." According to another tradition quoted by Al-Nasa'i, the Prophet stood up and, having praised to the Lord and enumerated his mercies, he asked the gathering, "My people, do you know that I have more authority over you than you yourselves have?" All of them replied, "Yes, we bear witness to the fact that you have more authority over us than we have ourselves." Then the Prophet held Ali by the hand and said, "Ali is the master of anyone whose master I am." This incident took place on the 18th of Dhul-Hijjah, 10A8. Ibn al-Wardi writes in his history that during his illness, the Prophet commissioned an army to be led by Usama, son of the late Zaid ibn Haritha, to march to Mu'tah in order to avenge the death of his father. The Prophet insisted upon its immediate departure. On the next day, in spite of his serious condition, the Prophet personally prepared a flag and handed it over to Usama, saying, "Go in the name of Allah and fight the infidels in his name." Usama went out and handed over the started to brother Ibn al-Qusayb, whom he appointed as the army's standard bearer. Having left Medina, he stopped at a village named Charf, which is close to Medina, and the army gathered there. The Prophet had also ordered that bearing as Ali, all other principal immigrants and helpers, including Abu Bakr, Umar, Uthman, Sa'ad ibn al-Waqqas, Abu Ubaidah ibn al-Jarrah, and others, should accompany Usama. Some companies felt insulted at the Prophet's appointing the son of a freed slave to lead the senior immigrants and helpers, so they started grumbling and criticizing. When the news reached the Prophet, he left dismayed. Despite his fever and headache, he angrily came out of his residence, mounted the pulpit, and declared, "O people, what is this you are saying on Usama's appointment as the commander of the army? You talk in a similar manner when Usama's father has commissioned to lead the army in the battle of Mu'tah. By Allah, Usama deserves to be a commander, and his father also deserved the leadership of the army. The Farewell Pilgrimage. Shahristani in his book Kitabul Milal wal Nihal, and Nawab Siddiq Hasan Khan in his book Hujjatul Karamah state that the Prophet ordered his companies thus: "Make haste in joining Usamah's legion. May Allah curse whoever lags behind Usamah's army." In Madarijun Nubuwah, the following is stated: "Then, in accordance with the orders of the Prophet, Usamah went to the camp and ordered the army to march. When he was about to mount his steed, his mother informed him that the Prophet was in the journey of death. Receiving the news, Usama and other companies went back. Abu Bakr and Umar were still in Medina. They hadn't joined the army camp.